live on Rumble, I hope. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Relief Valve podcast. And first, I wanted to. Okay, hold on. I hope. Shut the fuck up. Okay. So first, I want to apologize to everyone that tried to view yesterday's show. So I went for about 3.5 hours of just, I just, these are the breaks when you're podcasting and you're trying new endeavors. And I messed up. I made some mistakes on YouTube. I don't know what happened. It just muted the entire show. Not me. You could hear me, but any of my video coming from anything out, and I don't know if it was because I was taking some video from other sources like the Daily Wire, or I was even watching a speech from RFK, and just like you could hear tiny little bits of sound if you listen very carefully in the background from all that video. So I don't know why the video was so muted or why the sound was down so much. It was some sort of action YouTube took. I don't know. So it screwed up the whole pre-debate show and coverage of the Iranian attacks on Israel. So the YouTube portion was a bust. And then on Rumble, the show actually came through, but I tried out a new widget and and I added a voice to it, just playing around, trying different things. And I decided not to go with it, and I turned it off, and the fucking thing played through the whole show anyway. So you got to listen to, hey, welcome to the Relief Valve podcast. The whole goddamn time I'm talking about the Israel thing, the debate, and everything. It was a mess. I apologize. I'm trying out new things and trying to add new stuff, and I just messed up. So that's why I wanted to do a show today. Normally, I kind of would have taken a break today, especially doing a 3.5 hour show. But I wanted to catch up with things that we missed and then try to be able to explain that as well. So one of the things was this particular flub from Tim Walz here, saying that there's a couple of different flubs. Him saying that he was at Tiananmen Square in China in like 1987, and just more of these absolute garbage lies from him. But one of the ones that particularly took the cake for me was when he says he's friends with school shooters. I had cut out at this point because I was on my way to, almost a 4 hour mark. So I called it a wrap at that time. But so I didn't get to this part in this line of questioning. And here it is. I wanted you guys to see this. I've become friends with school shooters. So let's slow this down here. I've become friends with school shooters. Now, I know, and the left has been trying to say this on X this morning, is last night and this morning as well, that that's not what he meant to say, that he meant to say it was school shooting victims and it was a flub. But here's the reason I'm not willing to give this to him, because Trump has flubs too, right? What do the Democrats love to trot out anytime there's a conversation? When he said there were good people on both sides, and then they try to turn that into, well, when he meant people on good sides, he was also referring to the neo-Nazis. So the left aren't willing to give Trump an inch on any of that. Anything he said, anything Trump says, even if it's a flub, they nail him to the wall with it. So you know what? I'm not willing to give this to Walz. I'm not willing to say he made a mistake. He said he's friends with school shooters. The guy's a weirdo. He's a scumbag. I don't care that it was a flub. I'm nailing him to the wall with it. He's friends with school shooters. I want to go back a couple of seconds here. That should be the Kamala Tim Walz campaign motto from this point forwards. Kamala Harris and Walz, we're friends with school shooters. That's what it should be. And I'm not willing to give him an inch on that screw up. That's what he said. That's what it is. And they need to own that, just like they make Trump own it. Okay, so moving on to other breaking news that I haven't been able to get to, you've got the longshoreman strike going on now. I'm a Teamster. I'm aware of how all this works. I was on the strike line in 1997 for UPS, so I know how these things go. This is an even larger deal because they're shutting down all of the ports on the from Texas all the way through the East Coast that are under their control, and you're not going to see a problem with availability in your stores right now. Normally, the problems take a couple of weeks to a month to really start showing. So you're not going to see a supply problem now, and everyone shouldn't panic over that. But depending on how long this goes, I mean, there's several factors. One, this could be a disaster for the Democrats, which I'm here for. And the other thing is how it's going to affect the economy. Now, their Harold Daggett, the ILA president, he's all business. We got stuck with Sean O'Brien, and he sucks. And I wish we had this guy because he seems like I don't really know much about him, but he seems like he plays hardball. I've got a couple of okay. This might be the interview here. This was an interview that was done with him right prior to the strike. Just to let everybody know, it's their page. It has the music playing in the background while they're talking. It's not my screw up this time. And it's true, by the way, the in relation to what the companies made during COVID. I mean, large companies like Walmart, UPS, FedEx, these docks, they made massive, massive amounts of money from everybody staying home, giving into the fear, and then putting orders in and just having massive amounts of stuff delivered. And they made billions and billions. All of us were forced to go into work. Not one of us, not these ILA guys, not UPS, FedEx, not anyone, not one of us got one day off when they talked about this. We were handed a piece of paper that told us when everybody else was being forced to stay home, we were told we were essential workers, and that if we got pulled over while we were on our way to work, to show your company ID to the police officer, because they're going to ask you, why are you out? Are you going to the grocery store to get essentials, or are you fucking off? Said so. Show your ID if you get pulled over that you're on your way to work, and they'll let you go on about your business and get to your shift. Not one of us or any of these guys got a day off during COVID. Nothing was offered. Like, oh, we got a disease going out there, so we're going to take a week to 2 weeks. We're going to figure out what's going on, and then maybe we'll come back to work. It was an absolutely seamless transition straight into work, even though people didn't know what was going on, and you had no idea what you were looking at, or the danger level. So, yeah, all of these guys deserve all of the essential workers deserve a raise. They deserve some sort of giving or something, because we were all forced to work at the supermarket, at a Walmart, at a shipper, on the docks, whatever. Companies didn't give a shit about us. The CEO was behind a computer in a sanitary office, typing away and looking at numbers, while the rest of us were on the scene wondering, when all these stupid rumors are going out about COVID. Oh, it can get on the boxes. Oh, it can get on the equipment, and it stays on there for like 24 hours. So you got to spray everything down. You got to do all this, while they were trying to figure it all out. I mean, it was ridiculous. And there was not one day off that you got. And that's what these guys, the heads of the ILA, are talking about here. Is not only have these ports made good money in general, but they absolutely boomed during COVID. All the major companies boomed. Mom and pop stores got put out of business, especially by the Democrats. They forced them all to shut down. I don't know if you guys remember, I lived in a small town, and there was a small breakfast diner, and this woman who was just owned this small town diner and just barely making ends meet. I mean, the state and local government made her set up this ridiculous tent, with ventilation inside the tent, and then the tables and the people and everybody separated 6 feet apart to have breakfast and whatever. So a lot of businesses that were forced to close, mom and pop stores and small stores, they all lost their business. In the meantime, the giant retailers, Amazon, Walmart, they're all fine. Not only are they fine, they had record breaking profits. And what did the employees see from all of that, from the record breaking profits? Their exact same hourly salary that they got. So I can see why these guys are striking, why there's such a big push. That was like that for us in my profession. I get it. Automation is another big. All right, so let's go to this was 23 hours ago. Let's get to some updates of what's going on with the strike. This was 15 hours ago. I guess there's been a little bit of a little bit of at least one case of violence. A trash guy that was driving through the picket line to pick up trash from the port ended up being attacked. But he had some blood down the side of his face, but there both sides are each saying something. The workers are saying the trash guy attempted to drive right through them and didn't care that people were in his way. He kept inching his way forward and hitting them. And then he says that he was like, he got out of the truck to talk to them, and then he was attacked and overwhelmed by them. So, you know, tensions are high in the situation. Hold on, commercial. So, we'll see what Dementia Joe's going to do. He said he doesn't believe in Taft Hartley and he's not going to use it, which Taft Hartley can force off a cooling period for 90 days, force them back to work and get everything going again, and then get them back to the negotiating table as well. Biden claims he's not going to do it because that's going to seriously hurt the Democrats if they force the Teamsters. They've already got polling from the Teamsters specifically, who have started to lean over, very strongly over 65% for Trump. So they can't afford to lose more union members overall by forcing these guys to go back to work. So the Democrats now are between a rock and a hard place on what to do. If Biden stays out of this and doesn't take any action, this can go on for however long the union needs it to go on, or vice versa in the argument with the contract. And if he does step in, he's going to piss off a lot of union members. So they're in a tough spot. I have no sympathy for them, but they are in a tough spot. So I did some on yesterday's show, for what it's worth. I did some Israeli war updates. This one is from. This one was from. This was premiered September 30th. So this was a couple of days ago. This guy was in Israel talking about what was going on. This was Israel bombing Hezbollah in Lebanon, and this was before the Iranian missile strikes on Israel. I've gotten some new kind of reports floating around that Israeli soldiers were ambushed in Lebanon and during the ground incursion, and I'm trying to get more information on that, and I'm not 100% sure. I'd like to confirm it before I come right out with it, but this was prior to the Iranian missile strike. Take a look at this, and I'll be right back. Another shit commercial. For whatever reason, I don't understand this. I've got no sound on YouTube. None of the video that's playing on YouTube, when I play videos, none of it has sound. All you can do is hear me. I don't get that. I mean, I guess I got no choice really but to keep going now. It's going okay on Rumble, but I assume. Bear with me for a second here. I'm just going to check this.
End of the 1974-77 contract, the hourly wage.
Yeah, there's no problems on Rumble. It's playing normally. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. It did it today, yesterday. I tried to go watch it on another device just to see if the show is playing properly. You hear my voice, no sound from YouTube videos at all. It's like they've been turned all the way down to zero or something. I don't get it, or what the hell to do about it. Why this would have happened. I haven't had this problem in the past. All right, I'm gonna have to write to them. I'm gonna have to figure. I'm sure they don't like my show and they're screwing with it somehow. So I can't. They won't play any video or something. I don't know what the hell it is, but you can't hear the videos, but you can hear me. So anyone that's tuning in on YouTube, until I can get this problem resolved, please come over to Rumble, Matt Ventilator, all one word. Find me on there. You can find the show so that you can actually see all of this. It's playing properly on Rumble. I'm not getting anything on YouTube, and I don't understand it. So please come over to Rumble and check out the show while I try and work this out. It's ridiculous. Sorry, YouTube is awful with commercials. Just they never end. Yeah, break. All right. So those were updates prior to the Iranian attack. Before and their move into Lebanon. So going back to Walz here, I'm going to grab a couple more things and I'm going to call it an update for today. So the Tim Walz was before his horrible debate was blasted for huddling with George Soros' son at a New York City luxury apartment. The billionaire Nepo baby. Walz has been widely touted by media outlets as a more moderate complement to the Harris ticket. Minnesota Governor and Democratic Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz was blasted on social media this week for visiting the upscale Manhattan apartment of Alex Soros, the son of the billionaire liberal mega donor George Soros, who interferes in state affairs and elections and district attorneys, not only in this country but all over the world. Their Open Society Foundation, formerly as the Open Society Institute, is a U.S.-based grant-making network founded by business magnate George Soros. Open Society Foundation financially supports civil society groups around the world with the stated aim of advancing justice, education, public health, and independent media. And what all of that is the civil society groups are Black Lives Matter, terrorist groups, Antifa, and others, and putting in radical DAs in order to let criminals out of jail. This is what the Open Society really does under the guise of civil society, public health, and independent media. The group's name was inspired by Karl Popper's 1945 book, The Open Society and Its Enemies. As in 2015, the OSF is branched in 37 countries, encompassing a group of country and regional foundations, such as the Open Society Initiative for West Africa and the Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa. The organization's headquarters is located at 224 West 57th Street in Midtown Manhattan. Of course, it's in New York City. In 2018, OSF announced it was closing its European office in Budapest and moving to Berlin in response to legislation passed by the Hungarian government targeting the foundation's activities. Hungary was smart for getting rid of these assholes. As of 2021, the OSF has reported expenditures in excess of $16 billion since its establishment in 1993, mostly in grants towards NGOs aligned with the organization's mission. So I just wanted to read that to you guys. This Open Society garbage is what this scumbag is part of. Now let me get back to that story. So Minnesota Governor and Democratic Vice Presidential candidate Tim Walz was blasted on social media this week for visiting the upscale Manhattan apartment of Alex Soros, the son of billionaire liberal mega donor George Soros. Honored to host Governor at Tim Walz at my home in New York City. Alex Soros, as dad's successor at multi-billion-dollar Open Society Foundation, posted on X Tuesday, along with photos alongside Walz in front of the New York City skyline. The post was widely panned by conservatives on social media, who made the argument that Walz's portrayal as a rural moderate was compromised by standing next to one of the most prolific and progressive families in the United States. So there's Walz with the scumbag son of Soros, and there's Soros. There's the Nazi daddy himself. All the ones that interfere in American affairs. If you squint, you can see the strings on the marionette former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy posted on X. A post like this does nothing to help Kamala Harris and Tim Walz win. If anything, it hurts them, journalist Derry Dunleavy posted on X. So why would Soros post something like this to publicly signal his power and influence within the next would-be presidential administration? So this is one of the reasons I put this here and why it's so important and why they circumvent your vote, because these politicians answer really to their largest donors. They give the American people some lip service about what they're going to do or how they're going to help you, which never really happens. But who they listen to are their mega donors, and mega donors like George Soros and now his son, who has taken over the Open Society there, are all about working against everything that America stands for sowing chaos in the United States. And this is why it's so important to see who these people are hanging out with and who they're buddy with, because these guys here are in the ear of Tim Walz and comrade Kamala, telling them all their wants and hopes and dreams for the United States and the things that they want done. And the things that these scumbags want done is nothing good for the American people whatsoever. In finalizing here, I just wanted to talk because I haven't done it. I certainly haven't done it enough to talk about everybody that's suffering in North Carolina and Georgia. It's been awful. I think these ones specifically are just focusing on North Carolina and the damage. It's amazing because this storm was supposed to hammer Florida, and half put that underwater, right? And instead of really doing that, it put Georgia and North Carolina underwater instead. Very bizarre. And there are towns that are like in some places you can't escape in these small towns. All of the roads have been cut off. Everyone is trapped within their homes or within a zone, and they can't get out, and rescuers can't necessarily get in either, depending on the severity. Here's some of the video from all of this. Specifically. And here's some more video out of North Carolina as well. This is a drone. I assume either a drone or a helicopter flying overhead, giving you an aerial view of the flooding and the damage of these areas. You just kind of hear a hum, which makes me think it's a drone. I mean, some of those are like houses, piece of houses, everything that's in there. It's a mess. Road was taken out. You can no longer travel along that. That whole section is taken out. House is torn in half. Just debris all over that bridge, even though it's still intact. It's just not even passable. And this is after the storm and receding waters. Bear in mind, so it was high enough that it was over the bridge and depositing all of that debris on it. Landslide here, collapsing everything onto the highway. Everything just like thrown around, scattered about like it got caught up in a tornado, but it was all rushing waters. Trucks underwater, considering the size of a tractor trailer, underwater up to the driver's seat in the cab. So let's take a look here from Lake Lure to Asheville, flooding footage. There for the stupid fucking commercial for a minute. Dams are overwhelmed. They've opened them up full throttle just to keep them from bursting. That's just driving under a power line. I You got to get somewhere, right? I don't give a shit. We'll stay together and do it as a community. Well, good luck with everything. she got she kind of contradicted herself there a little bit. Well, we should all help each other. And having said that, I have to go now. So as I said on there, this footage has no sound. This is just showing more property and a bridge that was running straight through it at the worst part of it. Because if it's that high up to the level as it is, and submerging all of this stuff, it was probably running right through that bridge at the height of the storm. So they're basically just showing this aerial view of this area, and to finalize and top this off here, here's Comrade Kamala that everyone was criticizing. This I was just briefed by FEMA, Chriswell, on the latest developments about the ongoing impacts of Hurricane Helene. We also discussed our administration's continued actions to support emergency response and recovery. I also spoke with North Carolina Governor Cooper about the ongoing rescue and recovery efforts in North Carolina. Our administration will continue to stay in constant contact with state and local officials to ensure communities have the support and resources they need. Doug, and my thoughts are with all those who lost loved ones and those whose homes, businesses, and communities were damaged and destroyed during the disaster. You'll notice that her headphones are not plugged into her phone, and she is pretending to write on an empty piece of paper. This photo was just a publicity stunt, like she's on top of things and she's part of it. She's an absolute scumbag. Her and Dementia Joe aren't doing a thing to help these people. He's showing up. Biden is allegedly showing up to Asheville because he's receiving political pressure because he doesn't show up to any of this stuff, and his excuse is all the same. I don't want to get in the way of the recovery efforts, and really is he doesn't want to go, and he is more than likely not welcome there as well. But everyone thought this picture was particularly comical because it's set up to make it look like, look at how amazing she is. She is at the desk, involved about all of this. A headphone that isn't plugged in and isn't working, and a blank piece of paper. And this isn't her only snafu with headphones that may or may not work. You remember when she was on the tarmac getting off the plane, when she kind of first announced, or it was first being thrown around, that she was going to be the presidential nominee, and she had a headphone in her ear. And then she also put her phone up to her ear like she was talking to people so she could avoid all the reporters. So she had a headphone in her ear and then her phone. I don't know if that helped amplify the entire phone conversation, but quite obviously it was to pretend she was extremely busy and be able to walk by the reporters and ignore any of their questions. So Trump has actually been in North Carolina, been helping people any way he can and bringing attention to it. And these people, the Democrats, are, these are red states, right? So they don't care about them. They want nothing to do with it. This is nothing but a publicity stunt for her running for office. This is how fake these people are, and that's important to see. That they pretend to care, and they can't even lie and get that right. There it is, right there, not plugged in. There's the phone right there. Not plugged in, it's in her lap, empty piece of paper. And she's pretending to get ready to write something down. So these people are fake. All right, that's the update for today's show. I apologize about the sound issues today, and for everyone on YouTube. I don't know what's going on with the sound issues on there. I'm going to take a break tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get it figured out with YouTube. So I apologize about everybody that you've really only got me yapping and you're not getting anything from the video. It's like watching a silent film. So I'm going to try and figure that out. Thanks, everyone. You can reach the show at reliefvalvepodcast@AOL.com if you want to write in and ask a question or anything like that. And please like, share, and support the show. I appreciate getting it out there and building the viewership. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a good day. Thanks again.